Okay, Shalom, Shalom, it's the brother Kadash. I want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, peace, blessings, honors to all the brothers in the truth. I'm going to name this kind of something slick, kind of just like trophy husband or polygamous trophy husband or husband polygamy, something on those lines. You will see the title, but this is just like a little video, and I want you to watch this video, and it's kind of interesting the dynamic that they have, but it is a man with multiple wives, and it kind of reminded me of a precept. So after you guys watch this video, I'm gonna hop straight into it. You gonna already know what precept I'm talking about, what it's gonna lead you to, and it's just showing you that like the spirit is out there, the spirit is revealing things, the spirit is always showing things and showing like during these end times the spirit is speaking. I guess that's the right phrase to say. Like it says in Habakkuk chapter 2, it's speaking during these times, and everything, all the prophecies are speaking during these times. The MOTB is speaking during these times. We see they about to come with that, the whole new world order, the beast system they trying to come with, by collapsing this system first. Those things are speaking. Famines are speaking. We see those things down the line, if you have the spiritual eye, at least, you know what I mean. The Lord's return is speaking, with the whole uptick of sightings of the chariots, which the world calls UFOs. All those things are speaking, and even the Lord's ways are speaking, with men having multiple wives. That's been a big topic these last couple years. That's been a very, very big topic, and everywhere you turn around, it's like examples. So it's like it's speaking to you. So let's watch this quick video real quick.
At home is that we all share one bed.
Morning. Just getting up here. Part of that is because of space. I mean, we have the smallest house ever right now. We had to work it out the way we worked out, and it ended up working out in a way that we prefer.
Not one of us spends a night without Nick, because it's very special to be able to, sleep next to the one you love, for sure.
I like to be snuggled up in the middle.
And man, I have to say this, man. This is what's going to be taking place in the kingdom at a much, much larger rate, though. It's going to be men with hundreds of women, man. You could kind of see it like, if you look over there at like the Saudi Arabian prince and kings and stuff over there. That's kind of how they have their things set up. Those Saudi Arabian man, the princes, they have like multiple wives and stuff like that. So you got to ask yourself, like, do you really believe in the kingdom? Right, we're gonna get the kingdom. With Zechariah chapter 12 speaks about us getting all the silver and gold. It speaks about that in Isaiah chapter 60, our gates being open so we could get all the wealth, all the silver and gold. All that stuff belongs to us anyways, so we're gonna get it all back, and then us getting power, rulership over the earth, right, and having a paradise, a kingdom where you're gonna have golden streets. To speak about that in Revelations 21, our streets made out of gold, and complete joy. And it speaks about it in Hebrews 4, I believe that's verse 11, and rest, right? And you think that that's going to be a company? You think that that's going to be with us having one woman? We're gonna have it speaks about it in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Those uncorruptible, indestructible, and immortal bodies. We're gonna have immortal bodies. I mean, it speaks about it. I'm just giving you hella precepts. I mean, Second Esdras, I believe that's chapter 2, when it speaks about the elect being crowned by Yahweh Shai directly, getting crowns put on our head. So anything we ask of, the Lord is going to give it to us. So you think that we're going to have something that glorious, right? And then when you look at the kingdoms of old, when you look at King Solomon's kingdom, he had those things not on that level. But what did he have? He had multiple wives. When you look at King David's kingdom, he had those things not on that level. But what did he have? He had multiple wives. When you look at King Saul, when he was he's the first king, right? What did he have? He had those things, and he had multiple wives. So every example that we turn around and we see of these kings ruling over Israel, they all have multiple wives, man. You see the trend. So of course in the kingdom, the Lord said he's going to make us a nation of priests and kings. In order for there to be a kingdom, you have to have a king, which is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, is Yahweh Shai himself. But we're joint heirs, so we're going to be kings too. You don't think that we're going to have multiple wives? Of course we're going to have multiple wives. Then a man could say, okay, well, that's the same as saying the woman only going to have one husband. What's the difference? The difference is the woman is created for the man. The woman is our pleasure, our joy. We were created for the Lord. So just like the Lord has multiple Hebrew Israelites, he's going to have a multiple of the elect, 144,000 elect, and then the 1/3. We're going to have multiple wives, because that's how we're going to be able to be fruitful and multiply. You're not going to rebuild up a nation of Israel, where majority of Israel is going to die, the 2/3, right? That's majority. You're not going to be able to rebuild that nation if we get in the kingdom and one man can only be with one woman for all the rest of eternity, for their everlasting life. That's not going to happen. We're going to have multiple wives, and that's why the Bible speaks of multiple wives, and that's why the Spirit is out there right now.
Yes, you do.
It's a nice spot for me.
I'll get the buns out here in like a minute.
Oh yeah.
Are they
Warming up.
in the oven? Our schedule for sex is whenever I feel like it or whenever they feel like it.
Our schedule for sex is that there is no schedule for sex.
Try to make sure everybody's taken care of.
You make sure we're all taken care of.
There's never a time.
So think about what type of spiritual power we're going to have in the kingdom to have 100 wives, and you have to, you are going to know all of them, just like King Solomon. Think of what type of power he had. He knew all his wives. The Bible said he knew all his wives. The concubines and the wives. So imagine that, 1,000 of them in total. So just imagine that.
There's no problems. In regard to intimacy, we always make sure that we're in a separate area of the house when Nick's doing his thing, having one-on-one time with one of the ladies, make sure that they have that time to themselves.
We got parent-teacher conference next week.
And I ain't trying to keep pausing it on you, but it's just some interesting things in there, because the wife didn't necessarily sleep under her husband every night. You had a thing called the chambers, and you would summon your wives to the chamber. You may say, I want to summon my Judite wife to the chamber, because I ain't going to put no names out there. Then you might say, okay, today I want to summon my Issachar wife to the chambers. That's how that works, when you're dealing with a king. And we're going to get that power and we're going to get that order back, that understanding, that wisdom, that knowledge back. It tells you that in Revelations 21 that we're not going to have no need for the sun and the moon, because we're going to get our light directly from the Lord. The Lord should be the temple thereof. Not meaning that the sun and the moon literally aren't going to be around anymore. It's just saying we're going to get our wisdom, our understanding, our knowledge directly from the Lord. The ways, through the Spirit, So, in the kingdom, we're going to have multiple mansions. We're going to have multiple palaces. We're going to have multiple dwelling places all over the earth. We're going to be in our paradise. You see what I'm saying? So how can you have multiple homes, multiple mansions, palaces, multiple dwelling places, but you only got one wife? You see, that don't make any sense. Let's play.
So it'll be interesting to have all of us go to the new school. Nick has been a part of my son William's life since he was 6 months old, and he has been a great father to him.
I love that boy.
I've never had to explain our relationship to William because it's always been something. This is just another element of diversity as far as he's concerned.
That's the way we run things here. That's the way we like.
Now I want to get into this dynamic. Watch this.
Go play for a little bit.
I am a stay-at-home dad. In our household, the women are the breadwinners. That's the way we run things here. That's the way we like it to be structured.
Nick is a trophy husband, if you will. We prefer it that way, honestly. Like, I would go crazy if I was at the house all the time, and I pride myself on being a breadwinner, and Jenny's right there with me. I am a manager at an organization company. Jen is management in an IT company. Jen and I make more than enough money by ourselves. We don't need that. We don't want that.
Let me just say this right quick. If you look at a chessboard, the king doesn't really move much, because he just moves a square at a time. Meanwhile, the queen, she's all over the board, okay? The queen's got all the power. The king just kind of holds...
You know, he kind of put a little gem right there. But the first thing that came to my head, well, the second thing that came to my head, because first thing that came to my head is the precept, which is probably in, you know, if you a brother in the truth, that same precept is probably in your head too. I'm about to pull it right now. But the second thing that came to my head was like, man, wouldn't that be nice right now? That's one of my biggest feats right now. If I'm being honest to you, it's just work. Being so drowned and being so tired, like here, like I'm making this video, it's like 6 in the morning right now. You know, I just got off work. So I'm trying to put my energy and my all into it, you know, to put my passion to the video, but it's not always that easy. You just did 11 hours at work and it's 6 in the morning, but this is your only time where you could peacefully sit down and get the work in, but you kind of got to push through it. Now imagine if you had 3 wives, 2 wives, or and they work the same way his wives working, right? Then you ain't even got to go to work. Things could get taken care of because the work that you got to do, they don't necessarily as the woman, you know, bear that same cross as that you're bearing, right? As men and being, you know, prophets, hopeful prophets and the hopefully elect of the Lord, we got to do a lot of work when it comes to making these videos, studying. You know, sometimes you got to redo them. You know what I mean? You got to read. You know, you got to put the video together, get the precepts, go over the precepts, make sure you got the right understanding of them, learn them. You know, and then you got to constantly do that every day. We putting up videos, you know, so that puts a lot. So imagine if you could just focus on doing the work of the Lord, and then you had your stuff set up like this. I said, man, damn, wouldn't that be nice? But the first thing that came to mind was this precept, which is Isaiah 4:1, and it sounds just like this. And that's the spirit. It says, and in that day, 7 women should take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread, just like these women. They said, look, we the breadwinners, right? It says, wear our own apparel, meaning I ain't got to go take her out to eat. I ain't got to go buy her clothing, because that's what you got to do today, right? When you get a woman, you got to kind of courtship her. You know, you got to kind of, you got to buy her the nice clothes, take her out shopping. A shopping spree, that's what they call it. You got to take her out to eat. That's the first thing. When you meet her, we going on a date, and then pretty much it's okay, we going on a dinner date where you want to go, or a lunch date where you want to go. What's your favorite place? Or she might say, I don't know, you pick. And then you may say, okay, I'm gonna surprise you with something. Then you take her out to dinner, you know. So and then when you really get to knowing her and stuff like that, then she want to go on shopping sprees. You got to have a little what's the word, you gotta have like a little fun for her, because you know every month she gonna want to go shopping and get some new clothes, get some heels or something like that. But this is saying, look, they saying, look, we would eat our own bread. So they kind of got the attitude of these women right here. It says, and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. And that's what's gonna happen, right? Because these women are gonna be taken off their pedestal and put in their correct place. And it's not a bad thing to be in your correct place. We all got to be in our correct place. Even us as men, we got to be in our correct place under the Lord, servants for the Lord. You know, and a woman was created for the man. That's a very beautiful place to be. You know, but to take away that reproach, you know, and that's what's gonna happen. You know, a lot of women are gonna get taken off their pedestals, and they're gonna be humbled during these days when time get hard. And the woman that's just too tough, and they just don't want to give it up, and they don't want to be humbled, they're not gonna survive. And then you're gonna have certain women that's going to repent from that way of thinking, and they're going to say, look, man, we got to survive. Let's go get us a man. Let's get under order. That whole Babylon, they're going to what it say in Revelations 18 verse 4, come up out of her. They're going to come up out of this place spiritually and mentally, and they're going to be ready. You know, you're going to have women that's going to be saved for childbearing. It speaks about that, you know. You're going to have women that's going to seek after men, and you know, use these men as like hedges, you know, for protection and to take away their reproach, like it says right there. Let's keep going. Verse 2, it says, in that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious. This is going to be a beautiful and glorious thing, man. The fruit of the earth shall be excellent and coming for them that are escaped of Israel, because that's what it's about. Who are them that are escaped of Israel? Well, we know that that's the 1/3, right? Which is the remnant. It's a remnant of Israel, which the Bible also called the elect of Israel. It says, and it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem. But verse 1 was just talking about a man having multiple wives. And verse 3 is talking about these same men being called holy. So it's a holy thing, man. You know, but like you said, and like we just mentioned in Revelations 18, verse 4, you know, the women are drinking from that cup. They're not coming out of America, you know, but when times get harder, you know, you're going to have a great falling away and you're going to have a great awakening at the same time, you know, and then the Lord's going to close that door, you know, so you're going to have a lot of women that's going to be stubborn. Like it says in Zechariah chapter 7, they're going to be stubborn, right? And that's going to cause them to lose their life. Because the 2/3, man, that's the majority of our people, you know. But then you are going to have women that's going to wake up at the same time that do have that spirit on them, you know. So let's let this finish.
It's court.
Oh, okay, that was it. But you know, that was just kind of interesting. You know, it's an interesting video, and you know, like I said, hopefully it's been edifying. With that, I'm gonna say salvation to the Shalom.